All right, guys, let's,
Are
I
we
know
waiting for?
our finance team, but it's 9 o'clock. We advertised 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and,
Do we? Oh, wait.
let's go ahead and, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's just,
I was just
with
gonna
them.
do that too, but if you got it, I'll let you do it.
All right. Introductory comments and reminder that this meeting is public and is being recorded. And we do have a guest online, but I do want to say thank you very much to everybody that participated in the fair. It was a great success. I think that Jennifer lining up all of the drivers was beyond huge. I think that it was very, 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 very well received for sure. The two early takeaways from yesterday's afternoon quick get together, I guess, is that the two things that we are going to have to address is parking and internet for both rodeo and fair. We actually, between the fair and the rodeo parking, had to turn people away. So that's never good at all. But the good news is the shuttle was running and there was some backup. The problem is we need to identify kind of a new shuttle drop off, especially on the back side. But all the other little things we'll address over time, but those two are pretty major for sure. But great success. The auction going to end up, it looks like pretty much where it was last year, which is huge. A few more animals, but it looks good. Thank you to everybody. Any other comments? Commissioner Timmons.
No, I too want to thank you, Jennifer, for lining up all those folks. And the shuttle service was huge. I had a great time with Commissioner Schaefer over here.
Sorry, yes.
You're fine.
And met a lot of people and it was a lot of fun. So it was great fair.
Things across the board, Jennifer did a phenomenal job on the cart, getting the staff involved. I heard nothing but praise from both the fair attendees and from our staff who got to drive the carts. It was very well received and it was always great to see the staff. I mean, they always had smiles on their faces and you know, like Cindy said, you got to see a lot of the people out there and so it was a good time. It was a good time at the fair and it was a great celebration of our county for sure.
It was.
Absolutely. And now that they're here, I do want to thank the finance department for all the hours they put in assisting the fair. It's I don't think anybody has any idea how much time that they really do put in there, and probably sure to get war pay or out of class pay or something for that. It is amazing. It really is.
If I may, Commissioner, if I may add, thank you. I wanted to just give a shout out to Grant Hills, who I thought did a wonderful job with that this year as well. And all of our staff really loved it. So I appreciate you letting us participate and look forward to more participation next year. So staff had a great time.
It sure,
Yeah, it was
sure brought a
great.
lot of things together.
Yeah.
It did. And that's something very special. Additions to the agenda, anybody? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Umatilla County Housing Authority pilot payments or PILT payments. That says pilot, but PILT payments. You want to address that first, Robert, and then let Rondi or Roger Condi, he's online, or how do you want to have this conversation?
Historically, we've received a payment from Umatilla County Housing Authority for payment in lieu of taxes. I believe it's related to two different properties. And we receive that payment generally in the spring of each year. When we didn't receive it this year, I contacted them or through commissioners or other routes, but just curious what that situation is and concerned, since we also loaned them some money, what the situation is and what the payment read.
Roger, why don't you go ahead and jump on in?
All right, so first I want to thank you guys for this opportunity to be able to speak with you. Second, the loan that we were given was not in conjecture with this whole situation. You guys we've gone through Patriot Heights with you often about our situation down there. We are going to be coming next year, early next year, we will start owing you back for that loan at 4% interest rate, and then 8% the year after that, and then it's supposed to be due within at the end of that third year. So we are planning on working on bringing that back, but as you know, Patriot Heights is its own issue. There was a lot of things put in place here at the Umatilla County Housing Authority that we do not have a track record of why or how and what we're getting out of it. So I want to bring to attention of the pilot. First of all, we are having a lot of struggles right now getting full. It's not because there's not people who doesn't need it. We have made some changes into our programming, which has created vacancies. We've had staff changeover, which has also created some lapse and issues. So we did not have the amount of money that was normally sent available at the moment, but we have, I believe, sent a check since then covering so much of that. The other thing about the contract, or the idea of what was going on, is that it was for 2 properties, which doesn't make sense. Obviously, we haven't updated the contract or looked over it at all, because in Umatilla County, we have multiple properties now. So this pilot was put in place, I believe, more than 25, 30 years ago, which we don't have any documents, and it sounds like neither does Umatilla County to refer to and what the pilot was. A pilot is an agreement between us and a city or a county, stating that we will pay this obviously in lieu of taxes, but with the understanding that we will have some type of response back from that entity in either sewage, water, some type of infrastructure or so forth with our properties. So we are in question and wanting to have a better understanding of Umatilla County's effect on our properties that we have in this area. We would like to relook at and revise a contract of what we can best get out of this pilot, because as a pilot, that is unrestricted funds towards you. We deserve the right to also know what that money is going towards and how is it benefiting us. With that, the state, if we cannot see that there is things that the pilot is being necessarily used on that the county has, we do have some requests that we feel like we are willing to, that we would like to see some support from the county that would be able to help us to justify the pilot funds. As a federal entity, we don't necessarily get hit with property taxes in any of our properties, but again, and we only have 4 HUD properties have a better deciding decision of that, or a discussion on that. If I could ask and just put out there, I know this will not be resolved.
Roger, can you back up just a minute? You bleeped out there. So back up just a second, what you just said.
Pilot is related. When we started this here, pilot was more related to HUD properties. So we only have 4 HUD properties in Umatilla County. That is 20 units in Athena. We have 48 units that are combined together, which equals Bliss and Orchard, which are found on the block between Orchard and Hermiston Avenue on 10th Street, and then 50 units just north of that called Golden Manor. So equaling 118 units of low-income housing that are HUD, Housing Urban Development Funded Housing.
And what you're saying, Roger, is because those are federally funded, that they are exempt from tax? That is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yep, I just handed in even the documentation to have Liberty Village waived tax, property tax, because it is owned. If a housing authority has ownership of it, then it is part of the federal and it can waive property taxes.
Yeah, Roger, I'm still waiting on your late filing fee on that.
Okay, come on.
I know.
Everett.
Well, if you can send me an invoice, we'll pay it to you. I was like, just kept forgetting to ask you that, but I don't have a problem saying that $200.
So Roger, earlier you made a comment, this is John, by the way. You made a comment that you made some changes that created vacancies. What changes were those that created the vacancies?
Well, we changed our software programming from Lindsay software to Yardi software. And in that change created many issues within our waiting list. And it was not moving over. So we were not able to follow fair housing and get the right people in line to move into the housing. But also when I say we had those issues, they were all within the last couple of months. It's not like we've not housed people over the last year and a half. But in 2025, we did move over to Yardi, and we have been working with them to fix our waiting list. We also have a property in Pilot Rock called Birch Creek Manor, who has had over 8 vacancies for almost a year, if not longer, and trying to get that filled up. There is not a need, or people are not willing to move down there for whatever reason.
Roger, the guidelines for Birch Creek are so limited that people just don't even qualify. And
I
even
appreciate that, and I'm willing to answer any questions you guys want. If not today, we can ask them today or another day. If we want to continue on with the pilot topic, I'm more than willing to stay focused on that one and then jump onto the other ones. Is there?
Yes, this is Jason Jensen, incoming CFO. I have a couple questions for you on the pilot. Commissioner Timmons and I spoke on the phone with your bookkeeper, and she indicated she would send the signed agreement from the 1940s to Commissioner Timmons, even described its fragile nature and concern about it being scanned. And you said earlier that you do not have a copy. Do you have a copy?
I sent something to Commissioner Timmons. I did respond to it, but it was actually Hermiston City that was on it. I wrote on there. It was not Umatilla County.
Okay. And then you had indicated you thought that you sent a check, and can you tell me what that was related to?
I will check in with Monica, but for what I understand, we sent a check, a portion of what we could at the time for the pilot that we were in agreement with at this time.
And how much did you send and what date? So will you check on that for me, please?
So let me kind of recap this real quick. Robert, what's the general dollar amount?
Usually it's between $28,000 and $32,000 a year total.
Okay. And then Roger mentioned that it had limitations and spending guidelines. I've never heard that on a pill before like this.
I'm unaware of that requirement, but it doesn't.
Okay. Where did you get that from, Roger? Was that from an agreement or?
No, I mean, this is their only agreement that we're in with you guys. It does not say that it has to be done. Like I said, these funds are unrestricted on your part. It is stating though that there is an agreement of things oftentimes that would be a transaction of some sort. The county either with sewage, we're hit with everything on the other side with every single bill that comes by with no relief, infrastructure. So this is where we want to have the conversation. There is an ability for us to request, what are we doing with the 28 to 32,000 that we're sending to you guys every year? And is there any benefit of that making UCHA better?
Okay, I guess I'm a little bit confused, Roger. You say there's no agreement, but you say it stated that you had auditability for the 28,000. Where does that come from?
This is just me doing my own research. I don't have anything in writing from us. It is just stated in HUD. HUD does state as well that we can look into what is being done, what is helping us, what is going on with the funding. I'm more than willing to send you any of this information or research I have.
Okay, let me make this suggestion. It sounds like you guys have sat down once before, at least with Commissioner Timmons, and I'm not sure that we've come together on anything. Can you guys get together and bring something back that we can actually discuss?
Happily.
That'd be great. Thanks, Roger. Anything else?
Well, I do want to just put out that, well, no, yeah, never mind. I'll work with Nick and Commissioner Timmons, and we'll put something together.
And I would definitely loop in Jason, Robert, and Rachel too, so everybody's on the same page.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Roger, thanks a lot for coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
All right, next item on the agenda, support letter for Stanfield Interchange plan.
So I guess I can speak on that a little bit. There is an attached proposed letter for the Stanfield Interchange plan. It was submitted to the commission. A copy with the BCC letterhead is on the schedule for Wednesday. My understanding is a requirement for the grant.
It is.
So that's what's before the commission for discussion.
What's the plan? I don't know what the plan is.
This is a plan for a plan. This is a request for funding to study the, Stanfield Interchange.
188, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a joint plan between Echo and Stanfield, and Umatilla County. So. Other questions on that, comments? Next item is Umatilla County Wildfire Community Response. I don't know if everybody saw the note from or do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So this was something that was requested to be put on the meeting today by emergency management. I had thought that our emergency manager, Sage DeLong, was going to be here today, but he may be tied up with, emergency.
He was sick the last 2 days and then tied up.
Fair enough. So the main topic of discussion is kind of the recent wildfires in Umatilla County and any sort of community response that the county might want to have.
This one's specifically for dry cleaning, and then we're going to do something different for Hagen.
That'd be up to the commissioner.
Yep.
What do we mean by response?
Community outreach.
Yeah, addressing the concerns of the community was the main focus one. Thank you.
Is this like what we discussed in your office? You and I discussed? Is that what this is?
Excellent.
Talking to Nick.
Yeah.
You guys have discussion.
Well, no, we discussed the way we can discuss. Is that fair way? I don't know.
I told Commissioner Schaefer this needed to be discussed at work sessions.
Yes. I guess my issue was, when I've had people who I've literally known my entire life, coming to me and asking questions about it. I didn't feel comfortable telling them, go see another commissioner. And, I wanted to be able to visit with them and talk to them, but that's why I was, and I don't know if that's what we're discussing, what's on the agenda or not, but to me, it felt a little counterproductive to send them to somebody else when I could just as easily answer the question. So that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that isn't what I was talking about.
Okay, what are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, I didn't know this didn't say Dry Creek. But that's been a huge discussion. I don't know if you've all watched the video feed that came out of the meeting that they had with, at the Elks Lodge. There's been a lot of newspaper articles, and people are very disappointed in the way that fire was handled, not only from the fire department, but also from the county, the state. There's just some real questions. Of course, these people have lost their homes too. So, and Sage, I think it's only fair that, Sage has been very quiet. He hasn't said anything publicly about what has happened during that fire, but that was a big deal. And so I think it's only fair that Sage does get to say, this is what happened, and this is how we responded. And I think we should set up a meeting and have the state there, have the county there, so that people know exactly what the response was.
There is a meeting being coordinated between Bobby, Todd, and I
Okay,
that will have the state, federal, and local people there. We're not going to rehash the response.
okay,
We will go through resilience, how to move forward, and all of those type of things. I can't stop people from talking about the response at all. But I think that answer has to lie with the responsible party, the responders. But answering questions about why planes took longer than people thought or should have thought, those are legitimate questions. But to relitigate something that's already been litigated several times, I don't think is productive.
I think that, but I don't think people realize, the county sheriff was there. I mean, they were everywhere that night and did a fantastic job
Absolutely.
of keeping people safe. And, everybody was running around like, ants, because nobody knew what to do. And of course, they were trying to get older folks up out of House Creek. And I think there was a hats off to a lot of folks who stepped up and did their part and probably saved some lives. So.
Okay. Nope, that's being put together.
Okay, but is that gonna be publicly, are you gonna announce that fairly soon, or is that gonna be a while?
We're gonna let our firefighters and our emergency management finish up the projects they're on. We're not gonna drag them off of those.
So it could be a while.
It could be a while.
Okay.
You snowflies.
Yeah, when the snow flies. Okay,
Okay, next item is Lower Columbia Basin Water Committee. This is a group that is coming together, a combination of you guys have them. Here. This was the agenda from our first meeting and from last Thursday. And what it is a group of the folks that are on the agenda list You can see what the goals were. We've kind of combined the goals into strictly just community instead of industry, and separating them because they're all common goals. So the first meeting was to solidify the initial funding, and then the committee members, and which we did. But finishing up the mission statement, we're finishing up the mission statement along with, we have a list, a significant list of water quality and quantity projects. And then the selection process will solidify how that's done. And then we're also in the process of setting up a legal corporation or group, so that we can move forward, including fiscal responsibilities and those kind of things. I didn't include the one other group that is part of this is the water consortium that Morrow County put together. And because of the different projects they have, the water quality projects that they have. So where we are is in the funding of the startup stages. So Umatilla, Morrow, all of us agree to go back to our boards and request $10,000 for startup funds. And that's where we are today. So I've asked.
How many water committees are there?
Enough to flow over a dam.
So this is just another added water committee?
This is not an added one. This is an implementing committee. This is not a government-based committee.
Okay, so what do you mean? I mean, what is the purpose of this committee?
To get projects done and funded. And the funding is available.
And we don't have other water committees that are doing that type of work right now.
They're doing a lot of different types of water work.
Okay, so are folks from those water committees on this water committee?
Nope, well, a couple of us are, yeah.
Okay, and what's CWC?
CWC.
Subject matter CWC.
Oh, Central Water Committee. Columbia Basin, the Lower Columbia Basin Water Committee. Which would be this group, and then project list created that it's already done, but that list created by people like NOAA, the consortium, Umatilla County. It's very similar to what we're trying to get done in Mulliwa Basin too. Same type of group. The only difference is in this case, there's opportunity for funding.
So the three people given, I'm assuming it's three, it's CQR, then two counties, oh wait, and then two ports?
And the two ports.
Okay.
Two ports are involved, consortium. And then on the private side, there's obviously industry. Craig Reeder as a agriculture and irrigators, and Gibb for subject matter.
So who's all bringing the 10K to the table? Would it be the two counties and the two ports?
Two counties, two ports, tribes haven't committed yet, the consortium, and then Gibb and Craig have committed time in lieu of it.
So that, and I'm just asking Dan.
Yeah, no.
So the folks that you have, the counties, the ports and the tribes, those are all members of CDA, right?
Consortium's not, industry's not, AG's not.
Your counties, I know it isn't, but the counties, the ports and the tribes, they're all part of the CDA. And then your primary industries, they're new to the table, right?
They're not new to the table. It's a different table.
That's what I'm saying.
What table are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm
CDA
just
has
trying-
nothing to do with this.
I know,
When
I
you say
know.
new to the table, what table?
Well, a table. What I'm saying is, I'm just looking at this thinking, okay, so I'm just trying to understand. We've already got the counties, the port and the tribe. Those are all part of the CDA, right? And then, but the primary industries are new voices.
Okay, I'm
As
gonna
part of
step
this.
in. I'm putting on my CDA director hat. This has nothing to do with
I
CDA.
know, I know it
You keep
doesn't.
saying that, but
Yeah,
this isn't a CDA thing.
I know.
Just so we're clear.
Okay, no, I understand that completely. I'm just saying that, that these folks are also part of that. But they're
and,
not.
and
This is something
actually,
totally different.
actually,
I
it's
get it.
different people than the CDA member. That has nothing to do with CDA.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
Okay. Okay. So what made you decide to put this together?
To get stuff done so that it's not, it moves at a much quicker pace than government.
So are you looking at state and federal money? Is that what you're
No.
seeing that's available or?
No.
Okay. So what kind of funding are you looking at?
This group putting it together through private and industry combinations.
But you said that, there was funding available, new funding available, or,
I didn't say new funding available. I said there's potential for funding for the list of projects,
and my question is, where does the funding come from?
industry and private.
Okay, that's my question.
Good question. Anything else? Go
That's
ahead.
what I'm-
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Private industries, AWS, are there others out there that if they want to come to the table, they can?
Sure.
have any in mind?
Huh?
Do you have any in mind? Let's
Well,
bring it to the
you know,
table.
well, we have all sorts of things happening. I just wondered
Yeah.
if, you know,
And you're
you
on.
would welcome others. That's what I wanted to know.
I beg others.
You beg others. All right.
Looking at this list, I would love to
Thank
see
you.
what others, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to exclude. That's what I was,
No, and we wouldn't exclude government money if it was available quickly.
okay. Okay.
Oh, quickly? Oh, well.
Okay.
But there, actually, there may be, any other questions on that? Is that good enough, Nick, to, and Bob's up to speed too. So.
So with the wish of the commission to bring Pinky before the board for the allocated funds.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Perfect, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the review of items on the agenda. Isn't that kind of where we're at?
I believe so.
Except there's a lot more on the agenda, so let's go to that.
So for the meeting on the 19th for Wednesday, we've got several different items at the start of the agendas, TSP update amendment and development code update, first reading and public hearing respectively. The letter of support for the Stanfield Interchange we just discussed here. The UCSO purchase of ATVs is back on the agenda. Umatilla River Road transfer will be on the agenda as well. A couple different public works purchases, 2014 Ram 500, as well as the Phone Hollow Bridge monitoring. The RFP award for the bridge RFP that we put out recently will be on the agenda as well, along with Umatilla County's tourism website needs a small amount of additional funding to be finished. We also have public health with a IGA with Mora County to do tobacco retail licensing, as well as several ODOT acquisitions for the board for their sidewalk projects and one property reconveyance from foreclosure. With that, I'd stand for questions for the board. Or not.
Okay.
I'll have to look at them.
Okay. And And then on the, I thought we did the River Road transfer already.
No, I don't believe that's
I was gonna
completed.
ask that same question. This is a different set, because didn't we get rid of like part of it on the utility end?
That's what this one looks like.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look at it.
Because we transferred the property, the 6 lots or whatever it was, the park area.
I think that's correct.
And
I thought the road was part of that.
yeah, I did too when they did, not the urban growth boundary, but the tax district. Anyway, okay. If that's not true. Other questions from anybody on the agenda items? Robert, Jason?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have a quick discussion on anything that's on everybody's mind. Thank you for putting that in the agenda so that we can do that. So, Robert, anything?
I think it's time now.
Okay. Jason?
We're back from fair. I came in at the end of that. I'm sorry I missed it, but super powerful to watch our community come together and support those kids. I was a consumer of that product for many years and my kids, but to realize how much collective work is going into that volunteer collective work was really powerful to be a part of. So I appreciate the opportunity for that.
Also,
Yeah. Jennifer?
I don't have anything.
Nothing for me.
I know we've do historically, Dennis, in years past, we do like a joint meeting with our board and the fair board to kind of go over what went right, what we do better, kind of a scenario at the fair. Is that something that's on the books or not on the books yet, but?
Not on the book yet. We usually do that early October, so.
Okay, I just didn't want too much time to elapse.
We can definitely move that up if you guys want.
Just to interject, I want enough time to elapse,
Yeah,
because there'll be lots of questions
Oh,
for
yeah.
Jason,
For sure,
and
for sure.
they can't be answered at this point.
No, I agree with that. I 100% agree. I just didn't want it to be forgotten about, then all of a sudden in May, it's like, hey, we're gonna do that. That's kind of where, but if October, it's fine.
no, there was, the typical fair, there was a lot of individual questions, some drama and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's not a fair unless there's drama.
Yeah, and so, yeah, getting those kind of cleared up and taken care of ahead of time would be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things though. I mean,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The whole thing was
It
good.
was.
Are you assuming drama is bad?
I am. No,
There were parts of that were absolutely phenomenal, but there were some kinks that probably just need to be ironed out, I think, a little bit, but yeah.
So we were sitting there, yesterday, I guess it's probably 4:30-ish. And pretty good crowd on the midway. Anyway, we were sitting there doing the total number of volunteers, and we were doing it by group members and stuff. Like between the fair and rodeo, we came up with like just over 1,100 different volunteers.
Wow.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how did it was the volleyball teams that was doing the parking and that kind of stuff? How did that go?
Volleyball team did the ticket sales.
I thought
At this point, I'd say it went fairly smoothly, but there's a lot of information we don't have yet.
still need an official way to do gate counts, ticket or gate clicks. But I still think looking at it is probably.
I think short of looking at a video all day long and counting, I don't think it will be done.
Yeah. Unless you get to something like infrared or something. Yeah. I thought they did a good job. I thought parking had all of the makings for a wreck. But it turned out better than I thought.
I was proud of Commissioner Schaefer. I mean, we were out there rolling around and, I mean, you could tell there was an issue. And he stopped and got off of his little buggy and went over there and talked to those folks. And then pretty soon, I don't know what you said, I don't have any idea,
It wasn't me.
but it all got cleaned up right after that. So maybe they got to talking among themselves.
No,
And-
it was, what she's talking about is the rodeo side filled up. So they were taking money for the rodeo parking and then funneling them back through to the fair side. And then that would cause people to stop on the.
On Airport Way.
Yeah, and then so then Airport Road backed up, 395 was backed up, and I'm like, what in the heck? And it was because it stems from the rodeo losing 12 acres of parking due to one of the RV parks. And so they didn't have all that to park cars, so it was like, what's going on? And so 90 cars, because they were counting them,
Right.
went through. And it's like, okay, so then the fair is gonna build a rodeo for 90 cars of parking.
It was a 5-minute discussion.
Yeah,
And then the fair ran out of parking.
yeah.
And so then,
Which, by the way, years ago, Al Davis made the comment, we'll never run out of parking.
oh, I know, don't get me started.
It's like, really?
But then, but what was cool was the rodeo parking guys were doing the walking of the fair's parking lot to find open spots for the fair parking. So, I mean, it actually was really good. The two things that really have to be addressed early is parking. One, once they get rid of that mountain of dirt, that opens up another acre. Because that on that side, and then
It is got a name now, it's Mount Eotech.
it's gonna be Mount Go Away. The construction in the other lot took up another 2.5 acres that'll be open next year.
Yeah,
So that gives us enough expansion for 1 year.
yeah.
Do we have parking beyond the livestock parking? Can it go
Airport
towards
wise,
the airport?
So
that
that
was gonna have to,
that was Plan C for the other Saturday night.
yeah.
Plan A was the lacrosse field. Plan B was, they call it the weed patch. which
Yeah.
is- And then Plan C was shut down the parking there, make them go around and park
Park
along
behind the trade.
behind livestock.
Yeah.
So that was Plan C.
And I thought that was actually a decent point.
Yeah, I didn't see an issue with that.
Yeah. But the other thing is the internet. We lost a lot of money on the auction because of the internet. It was down to the pair of your chinny chin chin to get the national TV for the rodeo. And it really, Blue Mountain Network. It's an issue that the county, the city, the fair, rodeo, we're all gonna have to work together to solve.
So the city. Yeah, so the facility, from what I understand, some of the equipment that's there is outdated and needs to be upgraded and that seemed to be a city issue.
2017, yeah. It is a city issue to the point where until it becomes not a city issue. Yeah. And I believe that to my toes. The city operates fine. They don't have any issue at all.
But their clients do.
I hear what you're saying, Dan, but the way I look at it, if we're spending $100,000 a year to rent that facility, it should be up to par. It
Well,
should
the
be.
week should be full too.
Well, I agree with that too. But yeah, don't get me started with that.
I know. There's a lot of things, but
Yeah,
the other thing is and I'm just throwing this out now for early discussion because I think it may be a solution. the county brought a different provider all the way to the turn there for the new fair office. I would like to explore I don't care who pays, I mean, I care who pays for it. But I think that has to be an option, is to look at that provider also.
Who does the city use for a provider?
They use a couple different ones, but I think it's mostly Windway or Inland.
It's been a little while since I've been out there, but I think it was Blue Mountain.
It's Blue Mountain.
I think
Who
it-
do we use? I'm sorry.
But anyway, that and parking. And if there is an ability to, because just the success of both the fair and the rodeo this year is gonna demand probably another at least 6 acres of parking. If there's an ability to lease the property on the west side, the lacrosse fields, that may be an option.
Who owns that property?
Mike Simon's wife, Mike passed away. And then the other one is, the property on the south side of the rodeo that's in Mellons right now. And I know the rodeo is talking to them of either purchasing or leasing that property, which would free up, if the rodeo ended up with that would free up additional parking where the rodeo parked this year behind the new RV park. But those are the two things that are gonna have to be addressed early, because there's not short-term fixes. But what a success, holy cow.
The other thing, I had a lot of people, they didn't know how to get out of there. They didn't know how to exit.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was.
I don't know how many more signs you can put up.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I've had all sorts of people go, and I said, oh,
They go the wrong way.
Oh,
and
go the
then-
wrong
then
way.
according
And
to
everything
people-
gets,
Oh, yeah. That was a rodeo.
Yeah, well, and let's admit it, the gates that the city put in out there, the first barrel racing, somebody's gonna take out every one of those gates. They're
Oh,
just
yeah.
not wide enough.
Yeah,
They are absolutely not wide enough. And they should have been in like 40 feet off of Ott Road. So
Yeah.
that you could,
Make a
first of all,
swing.
make the swing,
yep,
but you're not stacking people up on Ott Road.
yeah.
Just think, 4 years ago, the total vehicle count on Ott Road during fair was probably 1,000. Now it's 1,000 an hour. It was amazing.
Yeah.
At least it's paved.
Yeah, that's,
It
that's
was absolutely. And my hat's off to the fair board. They did a good job, for sure. And Beth was not a home run, but a grand slam.
yeah.
She, and Devin was,
and she was still smiling on Sunday morning.
so was Devin.
She was
That
still
killed it.
smiling. Yeah,
That's
oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Yeah, she,
Fred.
our morning coffees were interesting.
There was one morning, there was one of the dinners, I saw Beth was wearing a red hat. And I looked down on it and it had a heart inside the thing. I said, oh, that's pretty cool. It's got a little heart in there. She looks up at me, she goes, you're one of the few people who can actually see it.
And her husband, Bill, he donated just an amazing amount of time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, all the spouses.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Anyway, enough. Any other items before we go? I know everybody has a lot of catch up to do.
I just want to say thanks for Jennifer for organizing that, because I had a great
Absolutely.
time.
I did too. I enjoyed interacting with the staff and seeing their smiles on their faces. One gal from public health, I saw her the next day at her booth. I was talking to her. Her face was just bright red. You know, like, okay, sunscreen.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for better weather. The rain came at the exact right time.
Oh, boy.
Thunder rocked my trailer to no end. I just got the announcer for Slack didn't show up.
I heard this and you had to pick up the slide.
And so I had to do Slack till 1:30 in the morning. So, yeah, 5:30 the next morning came fast every day.
Oh, boy.
I think sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think I might, send a message out to all of our volunteers to just, try to coordinate a
Absolutely.
hot wash with them, just to what worked, what didn't, what ideas did they have. I know Mary and Doug also had a good time, so that was fun.
Yeah.
They came down.
Yeah, they drove cart one day, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they came and watched the hog showing for a while. They stood with me and they were watching the hog show. I wanted to thank Kelsey for the donuts, putting that all together. That was so slick. And they had it all organized. We had 40 dozen donuts. They lasted minutes. They did not last an hour. So that's how fast that went.
I got
Thank
Is that
you.
from the
Thank
vendor
you.
that's on the grounds or someone else?
Safeway.
Safe.
Oh, because the
Yeah.
vendor that's on the grounds, holy,
They're from Milton Free Water.
Oh, those are the Mennonites.
I mean,
Yeah.
those things.
You don't
Those
want
Krispy
that.
Kremes, it's a shame.
Oh my gosh, they
Oh,
are.
yeah, 100% they do. She was my neighbor growing up when they were growing up and every once in a while they'd wave you over and they'd be making homemade donuts right there in the house. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That, and the gal that was the hog judge, last year she was a hit, this year she was even a bigger hit. 'cause
Boy,
she got-
she was really getting into it.
I don't
too.
care if she
Boy, it
knows
was-
what she's talking about at all,
Well,
but she tells me just like she thinks she knows.
Oh, yeah, she was, the kids loved her.
Oh, everybody loved
And
it.
she knew everybody's name. She
Yeah.
knew the pigs. I was shocked. I'm like,
And when she did
She-
all around showmanship and she gave that little speech, that was phenomenal. I mean, everybody commented on that. So, yeah, she does a great
That was
job.
Sandy Weissap, she is amazing.
She is.
Last year she was really good. This year she was that much better.
oh, she knocked it out of the park. I would say that's the best judge I've ever seen in the hog barn.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and the last audit was just as important to her as the first one.
Yeah,
And if you're a kid that's like 3 or 4 classes down, if you listen to what she's looking for, she tells you,
yeah.
no matter what, all you have to do is pay attention.
I saw her getting, what she'd get on.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
She was doing one thing.